In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 essential tips for aspiring pilots that are preparing for cadet programs. Understand that these are tips and that is what they are. My goal is to be able to help by providing information that has helped other people in the past. The reason why I'm sharing this at this time is because most of the cadet programs that will be opening in the near future are likely going to be coming open in, say, January, February, and the likes. And if you start to prepare now, your chances of getting through successfully increases by a lot. What you don't want to do is to prepare when the application opens, because at that time, honestly, it's too late and it's going to be much more stressful to go through the process if you wait that long. So if you are new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for clicking on this video. I hope this benefits you. I hope that you get to achieve your dreams and you get to become a pilot. Now, let's start with the first one. You see, this first one may sound very basic, but it goes a long way in achieving success during the process, especially when you are going through the application process, when you get to the interview stages as well. And this is to know your why, to understand why you want to become a pilot, to know why you want to fly for that specific airline, so your target airline, and what are your goals. Because when you have these 3 aspects down, it goes a long way in knowing exactly what you want out of all the things you're trying to do, whether you're currently not working in the aviation industry, or maybe you are in the aviation industry, maybe you're a flight attendant and you're trying to become a pilot, or maybe you're someone finishing high school or finishing college and you're trying to transition into the aviation world. Knowing your why goes a long way. And this is why it is the first thing that you want to get down. Now, in the process of knowing your why, be clear about your aviation goals, why you want to become a pilot, like I mentioned, and why you're interested in working for a specific airline. This demonstrates your level of motivation and commitment. Understand that the airline that you are applying to will most likely be maybe some are sponsored programs or fully sponsored, while some are part-sponsored programs. The goal here is that you want to be able to show to them that you're motivated and you're committed to the goal. So knowing that why goes a long way. And this is my recommendation to you, which I will even further talk about as we go along the way. Write it down. When you write this down, you can use it for various applications, and all you have to do is to maybe modify it to suit the specific airline names and things like that. The next recommendation I have for you is to begin working on that resume. You see, most of the time we wait until the application opens up for us to create a resume, to tailor it to a specific airline and start working on it. That is the wrong thing to do. Here's what you want to do. You go to the specific airline, the target airline that you're focusing on. You read about a profile, know their goals, their missions, and know exactly their maybe core values, their mission statements, things like that. When you know those things, you are able to curate a new CV or resume that targets that airline. And hopefully you've done your homework to know the things that these airlines want in a specific candidate. So whether it's leadership skills, communication skills, whether it's just the ability to face and handle challenges, adaptability, flexibility, all these competencies, I would call them, or soft skills, you need to be able to demonstrate them through your CV, through your resume. And of course, don't forget and don't neglect the importance of your volunteering activities or your experiences. So for example, if you have an aviation experience or if you are working on an aviation experience, those things go a long way. So do not neglect them. And if it's something that you can actually work towards, they can be helpful. So begin putting your best resume together. Your application and resume are crucial. Don't wait, as rushing the process can lead to mistakes. Start early and consider listing the qualities you possess and how they align with the responsibilities of being a pilot, specifically for your target airline. This next point is very, very important. And I think this is really the biggest portion of why I'm making this video now. Do not wait to practice. Start practicing now. So allocate time to practice your skills. You see, your communication skills, your multitasking skills, your math skills, your aptitude testing skills, those things can be worked on. You can develop skills if you work on them. And if you're waiting until the application opens up, guess what? You're already behind the curve, which means you would work twice as hard and get the least amount of results within that time frame. But if you start to work now, you've given yourself maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months lead time ahead of the application, and you're able to make improvements over time. And then the other important part that I need to mention with this is you are able to identify your weak areas along the way. When you identify weak areas, what do? You improve on them. So for example, if you've left school a while ago and you've not touched those math level questions in the past or recently, then what you want to do is to start working on those things. Whether it's 5 questions in a week or 10 questions a week, just to start juggling your memory, and then you can improve on it. Now, the next thing I'm going to recommend to you on this subject of practicing your skills is time yourself. So if you want to spend maybe 2 hours per week or 3 hours per week at this stage anyway, to work on those things in the midst of other things that are going on in your life, I bet it will yield a lot of positive results. And that's because when you're working on those things, you begin to use your brain on those areas that you haven't touched in the past, and you begin to apply them even on your day-to-day use. Another thing to also mention, you see, when you go through these interviews, when you go through these group exercises, you are assigned tasks, okay? And if you already have a job or you do something that you can exercise some of those skills on, you can use those opportunities that you're given to do that group project or that group work or that teamwork exercise. You're able to exercise some of the qualities that these airlines want during those great day-to-day activities that you do. And that is what you're trying to take advantage of by starting now. And guess what? These opportunities or these experiences that you are now intentionally applying to your day-to-day, things will become stories that you can use, especially when you go in for those interviews. Understand that one of the difficult and somewhat challenging phase of the selection process is the interview. So if you can spend time and maybe take a note, have a list of some of those competencies along with stories that you have started acquiring intentionally, okay? They become important things to talk about when you go in for your interview. Most people fail to do this. And when that time comes around, when you're going through that interview phase, you struggle a lot more because you haven't recently thought about some of these things. You haven't intentionally kept a note of great experiences that highlight your competences. Whether you're a student, whether you're working in an office, whether you're working in the field, there is often competencies used. And if you can identify the pilot competencies, and all you have to do is, okay, how can I transfer this knowledge that I acquired in the field, whether you're a student, whether in the field, whether you're working, this experience, how can I transfer them to maybe my communication competency? Or how can I transfer this experience to my workload management skill? Or how can I transfer this experience and use it to demonstrate that I have the ability to work amongst team members? These are things that you can begin to do now. One important area that I'm also going to mention to you is the aspect of aptitude testing and technical tests. Understand that you have PASS or pilot assessment that you can use my discount code. It will save you about €5, and you can use this to start getting some exposure to the type of questions you can expect. My next recommendation to you is to start gathering some industry knowledge. Now, if you want to become a pilot, well, you have to understand how the aviation industry works, and some important areas that you also need to keep in mind is maybe some of the technical aspect of things. So aerodynamics, how is lift generated, what is thrust, what is drag. Those basic knowledge are things that you should have, especially if your goal is to become a pilot, because you may go for that interview and they may ask you questions like that. The other important thing to also keep in mind is, what are the common challenges that aviation experts experience, whether in the field or outside of the field? So think about it this way. How does a pilot prepare for a flight? How does a pilot maintain their currency? How do they make sure that they are prepared for each flight? The other aspect to this is, what about the day-to-day life of a pilot? What does it look like? You should have a good knowledge of this, because they want to make sure when you're going for that interview that you know what you're getting yourself into and you're prepared to handle the challenges that come your way. And how do you manage those challenges? Well, by acquiring industry knowledge. And that's how you can demonstrate to them that you know what you're stepping into. Demonstrating a solid understanding of aviation terminologies, including basic technical terms, can significantly enhance your candidacy. Having industry knowledge will make you a more competitive candidate for the opportunity. Next big point is to study the pilot competencies. This is something that I talk about often in some of my videos, and that is because, hey, every airline wants to hire a competent pilot or competent aspiring pilot. So the point here is they want to make sure that you understand the skills that are required and you have them and you can demonstrate those skills. If you go on my channel, just go to the search section and search pilot competencies. You see a couple of videos where I talk about some of them. And most importantly, there's a document which I'll try to attach at the bottom of this video. Hopefully I do. You can use that document to actually see some of the observable behaviors. And what does that mean? These are the traits that you want to be able to demonstrate during your assessment. Every airline seeks competent pilots. As an aspiring pilot, your focus should be on demonstrating your competencies, strong leadership traits, and your ability to perform excellently during training and on the job. By the way, if you're finding value in this one, please feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you are notified when I make my next video. My sixth point is find ways to improve. Understand that, you see, as human beings, there's often room for growth. There's room to challenge yourself. There's room for improvement. And that only comes if you take an intentional approach to this. This is the only way you can improve yourself. Now, what do I mean by challenging yourself? What do I mean by seeking ways to improve? Whether it's through networking, whether it's through acquiring new skills, whether it's through paying for that program that would help you to prepare or to study better or to meet the right people, that are right kind of people that you want to be part of. The list can be endless, and I'm not trying to be as exhaustive in this listing. The point here is be creative and look for ways to improve. The more of this you do, the better you become and the higher your chances of getting through the program. The aviation industry is constantly evolving and you must demonstrate your ability to adapt to these changes. You can achieve this by acquiring new skills, volunteering, gaining diverse experiences, and exploring various opportunities for growth. These are the 6 things I would recommend to you. Check out my next video. I'm sure you benefit from this one.